Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Splatoon 3 at Riptide. We are currently going into round 3 of Pool 4, which is the final pool, the final round of the final pool.
Yep.
I'm Boing, and I'm here with Sampson.
Yep, I'm Sampson. Nice to meet you. You can find me at Sampson Splatoon. I always mess that up, but go by he, him, Boing.
I mean, it'll show on the screen, but I'm your local he, they, and you can find me watching test1 versus, I'm going for this as Fartos.
Ooh, okay. A little accent on it.
I don't know how else to say it. We're going to see some good players here, I think.
Oh, 100%. With test1 having Jump, Seth, Starnion, and DNA's Landon, pretty solid, and you know Farho.
I am very familiar with Farho because I stream SAC, and Farto is almost the identical roster here. And they've been dominant. I should remember the tournament I streamed. I think they won.
Oh, just straight up won?
They won SAC.
Ooh, that's going to be scary.
So April is going to be running, if they keep everything up, Jess is going to be on some sort of skirmisher. K-Pro's not in the game right now. So Jess, we'll see what you pick.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, she moved around. She moved around to K-Gal. K-Pro was mostly what we're seeing. April, mostly know you for your Jet Squelcher. That's in the game right now. You might stick with it. Your aim is true, and I believe in you. Space and Bandit, I think they're...
Bandit's another...
They're
Bandit
the
likes
shooters.
Slasheen and
Slasheen?
shooters.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly about if that's right on Bandit, but Bandit's crack player, been known. Everyone knows Bandit. They're going to show up in Splat 2, playing with, I think, Locke as well, but, like,
Okay.
great players.
Also here to this.
Yeah.
We played against them.
We played. We lost.
We lost very, very gracefully, I think.
We did lose gracefully. We put up a fight, and that's the best I think you could do.
So it's pretty exciting to see these rosters here in person, land, live, because I've gotten to watch them play for a long time. I have honed and learned about how to spectate a game of Splatoon very much due to the roster of Fartos.
For me, I think the roster of test1 is a little bit more new to me. Like, Jump doesn't exactly jump out to me, I guess if I want to make a pun on that. But Seth I've heard of, as well as Starnion and DNA Landon. Heard some chatter about DNA recently. Can't say I'm everywhere and doing everything all at once with the SWAT community.
Close.
But Landon, DNA, start ringing some bells.
It's
I'll
definitely a
know
name
on that
I've
Rainmaker
heard.
Sturgeon game, though.
Yes.
By then, for sure.
And that's what we're starting with.
Yes.
Rainmaker.
This is
Sturgeon
an
Shipyard.
interesting map. Splat 2 always kind of regarded as cursed and or balanced, depending on who you asked, because particularly sub in the game, generally regarded as useless. Most useful sub on that map, hilariously enough, just immediately goes up on the tier list some levels.
Which one again?
For RM Sturgeon, Toxic Mist.
Toxic Mist. Yeah, that's kind of one of the first places I started pulling out the V-Jet before it was literally everywhere.
Yep.
Understandably, because there is a choke point. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, but basically some of these concerns have been addressed. There's a choke point that if a Toxic Mist is put there, the Rainmaker cannot progress to where it wants to go.
And it is one of the quickest, I will assert, the quickest way to get points on that map. So you having a Toxic Mist and denying the opponent their goal to victory, the easiest way to win, pretty solid.
But Rainmaker's different now.
100%. You get to pick your path.
You get to pick your path, but you got to do checkpoints, which as much as that is like a nerf to the rapid nature of the mode of Rainmaker, I want to talk about an aspect of it that I don't think we've really talked about, where the Rainmaker carrier gets their weapon back.
Yeah.
And so it's just as much a buff to the team carrying the Rainmaker as it is a nerf to the team carrying the Rainmaker. Because sure, you can't do one wipe, one push, it's over, but you also get opportunities to recollect yourself. If your push starts to go south, if you can at least make it to that checkpoint, you get a refresh. You don't have to pick it right back up.
Don't.
You can go back where you're like, okay, we're going to slow down. We're just going to try to hold where we are. And I think that's another change.
And the checkpoint isn't a hard stop on momentum, more so than I would say a store of momentum. Because, again, to pop that checkpoint gives you paint, which gives you special, so you can keep it going after you get through.
Yeah, it's almost like an opportunity to get a little refresher. However, if you're not careful, the other team can just completely
100%.
extinguish what you had.
Yep. And what I love about it is just kind of like regular Splat 2 Rainmaker, you can still have someone be sneaky about it and pop it and go. That way of playing hasn't gone anywhere. We saw that in the Invitational, in fact.
Especially, like, it might just take a few tries. You're probably not going to see as many one-and-done pushes with Rainmaker anymore, which I am personally okay with.
Even as a Rainmaker enjoyer, I got to agree.
Yeah, I think you get 3 tries. It's sort of like 2. I don't know how many checkpoints are on all these maps, but it's like, okay, you knocked down that checkpoint. You don't have to do that again. So next time you can play the old style of Rainmaker. You can just go knock it all down in one go. So it's not that different. But I think the changes are good. I think it's healthy for the mode. Sturgeon Shipyard. There's 2 defined paths that people take here, and it seems like there's checkpoints on both of them, so you can kind of carve your own destiny. I'm still learning how exactly this plays out, to be honest. I'm going to try to take mental notes as we witness this game before us, which I will say is about to start. So let's think about test1 versus Fartos here.
Who's on your book to win this one?
It's simply due to familiarity. I'm going to go with Fartos.
I believe it. I think they seem a little bit more in favor, even from me on my side.
Yeah, they just – and the weapons they play, like – I mean, aside from Jess and the Caper, but that's honestly, that's such a general, like, skirmisher skill. It's like, the stuff's all in this game right now.
Yep.
Like, they're going to be able to do a lot of what they want to do anyway. So, with that, it looks like we are going in.
Yes, we are.
I want to see how this plays out. I want to know. Fartos versus test1. Game 1 of round 3, pool 4, Riptide 2022, Splatoon 3.
Go. test1 is orange, and we see Fartos on the blue.
Okay, and look, we're seeing from Fartos, we have a gal, not Jess though. Jess is on the Vanilla Splattershot Pro. Makes sense for what she knows. Bandit on the Charger, very understandable. It is shooters with that zap and the tacticaler. They're kind of playing Splatoon 3 as we already know it.
Yes.
And with that though, test1 is saying, hey, you're not talking about us enough. We're going to take 2 from Fartos. We're getting ready to set up.
They already are all the way up on their snipe with the Squeezer.
Is this the
just playing
Squeezer?
it.
We haven't seen this really that much yet. Squeezer is taking the spinner, and they're moving and going in, and the tacticaler down on the team. This is really enabling them to take
still
some
going
ground,
in, beating out the gal.
fighting aggressively. Fartos is really, this might be a bit of a wake-up call to them if they didn't know this team as well. And they're taking it left. They're taking it the classic old way. And with that, they get their weapons back. They get to slow down here. Seth is down there with the splatter shot, harassing the team. And this that Trizuka, it got them to move, even if it didn't get any picks.
Yep. Oh, a solid stop at 42. That's a pretty strong push, but not anything that we can't see Fartos come back from.
And with that, we're seeing Seth actually managing to continue to be a nuisance. They are running away. Jess is trying to call him out. She might be able to get this pick. April's coming with the
Seth gets it.
Never mind. Seth gets Jess and still gets away. That tacticaler might not be getting the utility it really was supposed to. Fartos is saying, okay, we're here, but Seth, this is
Just
crazy.
go down again,
man.
too. Wow, another double down.
test1 is really making anyone who doubted them eat their words, and they're moving in now. They're getting this they don't have to cross this checkpoint now, but they get to keep, this is traditional Rainmaker from here on out. They are getting it right back to about 41, saying, Fartos, hey, we just did this. You did it again. You need to make an answer here. They're not giving up. Bandit here is trying to hold the back line. Jess is moving in, trying to take advantage of that paint that's coming down. April on the support, and Mars is coming through. I think Mars, we're going to try to see some flanking here, catching any of these players from test1 that are out of position. Instantly punished. They're aware. That Squeezer, I honestly think Splatoon 3 players aren't anticipating the Squeezer.
Yep. And 2 down again on the side of Fartos. They have been fighting really to get back in the mid. I wouldn't even say to push. It's been all on test.
Suddenly the Charger is grabbing that Rainmaker. The Inkvac almost comes through to stop the Rainmaker from Bandit. And no, 3 down on the side of test1. They do get a successful stop.
Is Seth going to run away again?
Seth is really doing a great job at just maintaining control as a single player against a team of 3 or 4. Fartos is ready to call him out on it. Seth goes down to the, I believe that was the Inkvac.
No, I think it was Bandit's Rainmaker shot.
Okay, that was a Rainmaker shot? Yeah. I didn't recognize the explosion. My apologies. Mars coming in with the 52 gal. Fartos really wants to get something going, and they know it has to be
crab tank set up.
Big.
It looks like they're going to go up top left here, which is great because the Charger's not in a position to stop the rain.
Bandit's almost alone here. Seth is trying to do something quick.
Seth stops them.
The consistency is showing from Seth. A double, a triple from Seth.
Will Seth
April
close
is
out?
Suddenly the last one here. It looks like she's getting away. So with that, test1 says, oh, you're going to have to get that checkpoint, Fartos. But that was a good showing, and I think it shows we still have 2 minutes on this game. Anything is possible. Trizuka coming out from Seth, and we have Fartos here coming across the spinner. This is a really risky position to take. I think they're really trying to find, they're trying to find that footing. They need to have that confidence. They know how to take fights and win. They're just finding, like, this is a strong opponent. We got to really play our positioning smart. They're investing their specials now. and we're seeing the marker come out from Jess. They're really trying to just keep the other team off the Rainmaker.
I love the change in strategy from Fartos here, noticing that they've been taking a lot of 1v1s and really going in on their own against Test and losing out mechanically. And they've decided to opt, as you can see in these recent fights, to go for 2v1s and a lot of special moves.
They're definitely moving more as a unit, and we see here April with that tactical ready to go. It looks like they're letting the fight come to them, but they want to shut it down immediately. And I think that's a wise move. And we have Mars here up here on the 52 gal with that splash wall to protect him. And the Squeezer is trying to call out Mars, and Mars does go down. You know, as much as Fartos is trying to play as a unit here, test1's doing it just as well.
And Jess has just been holding it down. Oh, Crab Take appears from them, in fact. So she's going right in on the rain. Will she be able to close it?
Right, Neon coming through here. Mars is about to drop. They will probably get the pick on this Rainmaker here. Okay, 2 down for test1. Fartos might actually have a chance to get some ground here, get mid. And with that, it seems like they are trickling down. The Squeezer might get away with their life. No, they have a teammate here. Test is with them.
Perfect use of teammate right there. To be
suddenly, this fight is basically reset. They just now are getting into mid, and test1 is back. The Squeezer is holding off Jess. Squeezer gets a pick on Jess. Mars is down.
Jump is going
down.
insane on this Squeezer. Jump's not you getting 1 pick. He's getting a bargain deal, usually 2 for 1.
And you blink and you miss it. 15 seconds left on the clock. Fartos needs something, and they need it now. This Trizuka is not doing them any favors. Suddenly, they're trapped here, and
again, able to
just
leave out of it. That is insane from Jump and Seth. Just
Mars is going for it here. They have to pick up the Rainmaker, but Test, not
being able to grab it, being able to get 2 down. That was their chance, their moment. They just barely missed out.
Test1 was always looking at where Fartos wanted to go. They never got the escape that they needed. They never got that one window of opportunity, and that's what covering your bases does. And I think they only could do this because it's Sturgeon Shipyard. We know this map, and it's geographically, topologically, almost identical to how it was in the previous game.
Yep.
So we know where people are going to go. We don't necessarily know the strategies they're going to use, but you know how to react. You know exactly where to move.
Because everyone's still moving based on their priority, right? Like we see the Squeezer taking those high spots in mid or on the spinner and really just wanting to try and pick you off in that high spot. And we see Seth swimming through on the pits and a lot of the low areas, trying to go underneath a lot of their, I guess, long range and back lines.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, checkpoints and specials notwithstanding, that looked like a game that could have been out of Splatoon 2, except for the fact that there wasn't a KO, which almost always happens on this map. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do think the experience from Splatoon 2 played a major role in this result. And I don't know what else to say about that. Like, I think Fartos, they know that they're good players. That probably felt a little bit rough for them. They got shut down repeatedly. But the score at the end of the game was actually quite similar.
Really similar. In fact, it seemed like, test1 was kind of getting adapted to by Fartos. Like, they had clearly just mid-game had swapped it up. We're getting more points, more wins, more specials. And, in fact, I would argue they had a winning push there, a chance for one at least, at the end of the game.
And so, with that, we are seeing another dynamic mode right now. And I kind of have it like mentally split down the center of like the 2 static modes and the 2 dynamic modes. That's probably an improper dichotomy, but we're about to see Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge. I know next to nothing about it.
Nothing about Scorch. Scorch Gorge is, I think I already kind of described it. It's like a Mad Max pit. It's pretty, like, it starts off narrow. You think it's going to be this nice, like, fun thing like Ill Tale where, you know, you got like a straight road. You enter into that arena right in the middle. You see right there where the mode is.
Right.
And it's just a death pit, a brawl.
Now, I'm curious. This is going to be Clamblitz. People have an objective they need to hold on to at an individual level. Losing fights matters for the objective in a way that it doesn't for the others. So team play, staying alive is going to play a huge difference here. And I think players like Seth are going to try to twist Fartos' arm as strongly as they can.
100%. And seeing what we saw from the last game, test1 is able to beat out Fartos in those 1v1s, so they're going to have to really make sure they're playing well as a team here to be in order to counter the weaknesses they've already kind of shown.
Specials are flying left and right. I cannot tell where the actual epicenter of the action is here other than mid, because there are fights on left of the tower, there are fights on right of the tower, and by the tower I mean that little stack in mid, and it looks like test1 actually losing the initial fight. Fartos might be gaining their footing here. Just with that, though, Seth gets a double, so maybe huge. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I think that's just going to be the nature of this match for the entire time. It's going to be the matter of a team finding a single opportunity where they have maybe 5 seconds of a man advantage. They got to take it and go. Clamblitz. we're not seeing a lot of clam counts at the top
Not a lot
here.
of clam counts at all, really. It's not scurrying for clams, it's scurrying for kills, as we see Mars in the middle of a fight between Test and Jan.
We're seeing something play out here. test1 is gaining ground little by little, but they need to get more clams. Like, there's no way around it. And if you see who's holding clams or near clams, Fartos is kind of guarding some clam deposits. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Tacticooler out on the side of Fartos, and test1 is moving in. They know they need to push this objective, and there's a constant need of action, and the Tacticooler is not enabling the
Jump is
squeezer.
falling off the map a bit there. Oh, just a really tough fight. But yeah, as we already described, not a lot of clams, but a whole lot of picks. This kind of the nature of the map, as we kind of described already, is a death pit, but the nature of the
Every
mode.
single time I think test1's about to make a move, someone, or even just either side is about to make a move, one player is stopping the action. These Chargers are doing a lot of work here, and I think that's due to the nature of these unambiguous.
Huge pick from Bandit there.
Great
Oh,
flick
and
from
another
Bandit.
counter from Jump.
And then, I don't know, it's like cows?
Sure
The
Jump's the
Squeezer is
squeezer.
doing some great work. Skirmish is everywhere. This is nonstop action. This is looking like a splat match, much more than Clamblitz.
3v1?
3v1. They're angry at the Squeezer.
Squeezer's favorite?
Will it get away? The Squeezer is moving.
Not dead
schmooving,
yet.
And it's down. But the gal's down on the side of Fartos.
And that fight took so long that
test1
three of their
is
teammates are up.
emerging victorious slightly from this encounter in mid. But who's got clams? One. We finally have a power clam on the board. It looks like the zap on the side of
And they've
Fartos.
abandoned it?
April. They abandoned it. I think it's they see it as a liability. She's gonna try to keep it alive here, or they're gonna try to keep it alive here. And anyway, the Squeezer's moving in. They are getting mad at that Charger too. Everyone's mad at everyone. No one's respecting each other's space here. They are really just getting in each other's
Everyone's
business, trying to
right in their
trying
face.
to get picks.
Yeah, and if you take note of the clock too, we're at halftime. Not a single goal has been scored yet.
We're past halftime, and okay, it looks like test1's finally like taking notes here. They're like, okay, we got to get these clams together because we got to move quickly when we get this advantage. Bandit looks like they want to try to stop something here. The
Throwing
Squeezer
everything in the kitchen sink right over at Fartos. Will they be able to get a ball in, though? That's the key part.
Oh my goodness, 3 down, and this could be our first wipeout of the game, but it looks like the Gallops.
Amazing movement.
Oh, they stayed alive just long enough to prevent the wipeout, which can honestly be a morale protector. Clams flying in the basket. test1 is gaining points at warp speed. Jess is coming here and trying to stop something. She goes down, but it's not over. test1 is mostly out of clams at this point. It is the goal of Fartos. They just got to figure out how to stop this. Sub-weapons coming out, specials coming out. We do not have the tried and true classic displacement specials that Splatoon 2 had here, so they got to be a little bit more creative.
100%. But it looks like they're going to make up for that with pacing as the Tacticooler gets dropped down, and they're going back into the death pit for another shot. Oh,
Shots
but 2
flying
down.
everywhere. I can't make a succinct observation about who's in the lead of these fights. I mean, obviously, test1 got the score, but I feel like Fartos at any point could be flipping this around, and I
100%.
really hope they
With the way
do.
that Squeezer's moving, I can't believe the amount of shots they've gotten. Like that right there, just a perfect. Oh, and the sniper, it's just a pick after
It's
pick after
back
pick.
to back. I think we're going to see some extremely high KAs at the end of this match, regardless of whether or not the audience sees it. I'm sure these players are feeling, they're hungry. You can tell. This is live or die at this point.
This feels less like a paint war and more like a ping pong match the way these go back and forth.
Oh, we can't make this up. It just keeps happening. He's back and forth. 2 down on the side of Fartos now, but specials dropping on the side of Fartos. They are ready to defend their mid. 3 down. It is just the Charger. Bandit can dig his heels in and make a
They're going to make a clam here. There it goes, and a Tacticooler to set up. They are looking for the push, but will they stop them? Oh, before they can get it, and it falls off the
ball
map.
falls. However, that's not the end of the world for test1. Worst case scenario, they just burned 8 clams that Fartos can't have.
But as well as a
But
Tacticooler.
2 down. Oh my gosh, their defense is just as good as their offense. They are really not giving Fartos an opportunity to push. But I want to observe, Fartos is gathering clams. The Gal Mars has a power clam, and if they can just protect that asset, this could be a difference. But 8 seconds on the clock, what do you think is going to happen?
They're already backed up to their goal, in fact. It might not even be defense. It might just be a wipeout.
This match was so
Huge.
high octane.
I can't describe what I just saw. I think my neck snapped so much, it probably is lopsided at this point.
I am blown away that test1 was so dominant there, because it didn't feel dominant, but that score is dominant.
Yeah.
They got the only push.
The only push. And in fact, they felt like they were going to get another at that end.
Yeah,
They
it was
kept on
constantly.
going.
It basically was Fartos like being like keeping them one step away from making another push, but they honestly didn't get the chance to make one on their own. So that was a dominant display by test1. Doesn't have to be a
100%
KO.
dominant. Test1's future so bright, I got to wear shades tonight. But like, I had to make that joke once. But
I just noticed that you put them on.
I do it so sneakily.
That's kind of how you operate, isn't it?
I do. I try my best. I'm a frontline. If I'm not sneaking through, the enemy fields, I don't know what I'm doing. But I can tell you who definitely got out. Seth, the way that man moved.
I think we ate our words. I'm looking at the prediction on the screen. I think chat is eating their words. I can't read the chat itself, but
somebody is losing their mortgage today.
Someone's getting to treat themselves to dinner by those IPL Splatoon channel points, because I know that somewhere, somehow, there's going to be some promotion.
Hope there's an award for, like, a dinner with JPEG, because I would spend all my points on that.
Oh, we can't say that that's going to happen, but we can dream.
We can dream. We can hope. Maybe if we just ask enough times in chat.
I hope both teams had a good time.
I hope they had a fun time on Scourge's Gorge. For me personally, I'm a big fan of the constant back and forth and bloodbath fights. That's why I love that map. As I kind of described it earlier, and as you guys observed, it was just a back and forth, a straight matchup of power there.
And, like, I don't know, maybe it's just my lack of knowledge kicking in. I was not expecting Test. With a name like Test1, what do you can't make any assumptions.
They're named after the player Test.
What's the one? Anyway, like, I don't think I can even hold it against myself for not fully understanding what they were up against. Like, but Test1's going into these. They're probably I'm going to guess that this match was for who's making it out of the bracket.
Yeah, they made it out
or
of the
making
bracket.
it into the bracket.
They made it into the bracket, baby.
So I think we're about to see a bit more of Test1, and I'm very curious how that's going to play forward.
Please stay tuned for Test1 because they are insane. And that name, DNA Landon, hearing it a bit more. So excited to hear more about DNA.
And it's so cool. We're starting to get some words about, like, we're starting to get some pictures here. Like, fighting works. And I think that's what people complained with Splatoon 2. That was just, it's so AFK. It's all special spam. It's all stuff. We're seeing so much fighting. I'm honestly, like, as a commentator, you live for it because it's just, there's always something to talk about. I was almost getting overwhelmed with opportunity, and that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing at all. I mean, we're feasting on information here, and I love that. And I love to see just the amount of work that's gone into the development of this game and really taking in the input that we had for 2. I'm a huge fan of this type of game. I'm a QR fiend. I'm a feeder. I'm a lover of combat. As Boing, my teammate, knows, I get those highest deaths and those lowest special counts, but man, do I have a fun time.
And, you know, that's okay, right? It's great.
Maybe not for a win-loss ratio, but definitely a fun time for me in my little neck of the woods.
Regardless, that just leaves me energized for the finals, and I hope it leaves the audience energized because it's only going to get stronger from here. The play is only going to get better from here as more and more gets on the line, because that was pools. Pools is different. Like, a bracket just activates something in you. You always, the fire's under you. Like, you know that every moment could be your last.
Your feet are to the fire. Everything, every loss is putting you one step closer to getting knocked off the edge and not being able to stand at that podium. But here at Riptide, everyone who's kind of ascended up out of pools absolutely showed some hard dominance. So it's going to be quite interesting seeing people at this caliber really fight for the crown, that want it this bad, that are already showing, hey, it's day one. I'm already here to be number one.
And they're so right. So true, everyone, because all I want to see is good Splatoon. And if I'm not the one providing it, then I at least want to watch someone else do it.
Oh, and
I mean, I want to be the one providing it. I want to be good. But
you're good. You're pretty good.
I try. But I want to see people who try successfully. And
no way you're so burning. If y'all don't know, 1v1 Boing.
That's the one and done, I swear.
1v1 Boing, bro. Get matched. You won't beat him. You won't beat him.
I'm just so excited right now. And especially because, like, I don't know. I'm not going to be on the commentator's desk for finals, which is okay.
Oh, man. I think
we're going to see
get some amazing talent.
High-quality Splatoon on the player side, on the production side, on the commentary side. Everything's going to be so good. You don't want to miss it. I cannot wait. I don't know what else to say. Like, that left me so amped.
Stay tuned for more top tier. That's it. Like, what else do you want? That's what we have. You want the highest quality cuisine. We are providing it to you. Might be a little bit drenched in ink and some sweat at the end of the day, but definitely no more delicious for your eyes. A true feast.
Day one. It's actually here.
Yep.
It's real.
Man, we haven't even reached 24 hours. People are already acting like they got 2,400 in it. That's crazy. I mean, absolutely insane.
At first I thought you were talking about X-Power. I'm like, I think people are going way higher than that. But no. I just, like, this leaves me so optimistic about.
I cannot wait to get back into the ink personally. I am in love with the idea that I can just play Tetras or Blasters or anything that someone would tell you in Splat 2, not going to work. And at this early of a stage and at this chaotic of a game, really, it goes with the theme of it. Beautiful.
Okay.
Right.
So, as we prepare for the top 4 bracket, this is actually going to be it for Sampson and I. Sampson, where can people find you when they acknowledge that they missed you?
You can find me at Sampson_Splatoon. I am been your commentator. Great to meet you. Love you. I'm Sampson, aka Mr. Bubbles.
What? I'm Boing. You can find me on Twitter. I don't.
He has you blocked. He almost certainly has you blocked. I follow everyone, but he has you blocked.
Yeah, sorry. Feel free to look. It's a fun game. But we've got some exciting and great talent ahead of us. So everyone, stay tuned. Top Cut will be coming up shortly.
Is that what you do? I don't know.
What? Are we